So, and also, know your map and compass skills for navigating. Don't just trust the GPS. And in the Arctic, all it really takes to foul things up with the communication satellites, as well as navigation satellites, is a good aurora borealis. A good can really foul some things up for a while. And they've had that happen up in Canada several times when we had the huge aurora and it fouls up the power grid. Yeah.
You're up there with that.
No, I didn't do it down here. I don't think so. Yeah. Right.
Also.
Right. So natural navigation. A lot of times you can tell where you are, and you just should be start to get aware. This is an awareness type thing of just keeping your navigation with your directions and stuff like that. For example, the last snowstorm, which side of the trees did it deposit the snow on? It's going to be the same for all the trees. So that's a direction of the wind, the day that it deposited the snow. And you can be in the forest and just keep your bearings by that. I see that the wind, this side of the tree has the snow deposit on it. That's the east side of the tree. The snow came in from the east. That's just the way you tell your direction. You don't need your compass book. Banner trees, lots of times you'll be able to go out to where there's a clearing and there's a lone tree out there, and it's going to be literally look like a flag. The side that's on the windward side of the tree is not going to have any branches. On the leeward side of the tree is going to be branches. Okay? It's called a banner tree. If you look at islands like I was up mapping in Minnesota last year. So there's lots of these little islands on all these lakes, right? You're up standing high enough, you look over the island, and it is not ambiguous at all which side the prevailing wind comes from, and that will give you a direction. The island has a profile like this with the trees, going from very low on the windward side of the island to higher and higher on the leeward side of the island. Okay, as a cause effect of the prevailing wind. If you're in mountain regions, you have the banner clouds coming off the top of the mountain to help keep your direction. You'll see which way the wind's blowing high up. If you have snow, as the snow is packed, especially in the Arctic, it will get on a ripple effect called sastrugi. And you'll be able to literally tell your direction by that. Okay, there will be a ripple effect, just like sand or anything else takes on a ripple effect when the wind has packed it so hard. And you're just crossing all these ripples at the same angle. All right? It's like sailing and just crossing all the waves at the same angle. If the wind stays the same, then it's always the same angle, keeping your direction like that. So sastrugi. When we went to the magnetic North Pole, we didn't have, the compass doesn't work. Okay? First of all, you're going to the magnetic North Pole. The compass is useless. I was the traditional navigator, so I was going to use the sextant. We were in whiteouts 16 days out of the 19 days that we were actually traveling. We were in whiteouts. Couldn't use the sextant because you have to have 2 consecutive readings. I'd have it open up of the sun. Yeah. What my intention was to take a reading at night before I went to bed. The sun moves, get up the next morning, take another reading, and be able to cross those 2 lines of position to get our fix. Never was able to do it because one of the times was always in a whiteout. Okay. So the way we navigated up there was by the wind. For long stretches of time, we would navigate with the way the wind was on our face. Because it's a very constant wind. If you know which direction you need to be going, every once in a while you'd be able to calibrate yourself by the sun would peek through. You'd get an azimuth to the sun. You'd calculate where the direction the sun should be in the sky for that period, for that time of the day. You get the azimuth to the sun, take that, and say, okay, this is still the direction we need to go. The wind needs to feel like it's on this side of our face. And then you just keep going. At night, you put the sleds in that direction that you were going that night, the day before, so they're still oriented in the same direction. See, as the wind's still coming from the same direction, you can head off the next day. So you're doing a lot by natural navigation, by the wind, and other things. And also,
Did it work?
yeah,
You
yeah,
consider yourself
yeah.
You consider yourself a religious person.
Another thing is that you will also see a lot of these blocks of ice that come in from, you know, the Arctic Ocean, if you're up there, they'll actually be wind and snow sculpted, so they'll be in a dolphin-like shape. I mean, I have some slides if you guys want to see those. But it'll be in a aerodynamic shape, whatever that. From the wind, it just snow blast this piece of ice into this dolphin-like shape, and it'll be up on this pedestal like it's a snow or ice sculpture. So as long as you can see that, you know, that's just like a big pointer saying this is the direction. All right.
Like an airplane, landing an airplane.
Yes.
Windsock.
Yeah, exactly, like a windsock. Other things are the solar effects of snow, on the snow, of course, the snow cups that you get, the depressions that you get from the snow, and melting phenomena. Of course, you know, north side of a hill is not going to melt as fast as the south side, things like that. And also the effect on the vegetation just in general of the sun, the way the vegetation grows. You can often go out and tell which direction the sun is, and you can get a tree out by itself, which is south and which is north and the other directions. And just keep this in mind. Sometimes when you go out and see all these trees that got the split in them, split in the trunk. Have I showed you that? When you're looking for the split in the trunk, that's usually on the southwest side of the trunk of the tree. These splits are, because in February the sap will start to run up the tree again. And the warmer side of the tree will be the southwest side, so it'll run on that side first, and then at night it freezes and splits the tree open on that side.
Well, you mean literal split.
Yeah, southwest split, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Deep in the rock.
Yes, it kills the tree. You can essentially kill the tree. Yes, maple trees are very susceptible. But we have these trees in Lily that outside of where we of our plant site that they planted, and then those are linden trees, and every one of those has a southwest split over. Every one of the trees has a split close to the base of the tree. Okay, just be looking for stuff like that, little things like that. Trail markings. Okay, as you're navigating, GPS is great to make waypoints here. Other things, you can, you know, of course, build cairns. The cairns that the Eskimo use is the Inukshuk, which is this rock structure that looks like kind of like a human in form, you know, with the rocks going out and the rocks for the legs. But any kind of a cairn would be helpful because you can get turned around in a whiteout, and it only takes minutes and a few feet from the camp to get totally turned around and not be able to find your way back. Dyes, use of dyes. You know, if even you got people following you or something like that, or you want to show them, just put some dye in the snow. One of my favorites is black cherry jello. Works great in snow. You know, just you can eat it too. Just carry a package of black cherry jello, and you can mark the snow with that if you needed to. Flagging also. You know, if you read Admiral Byrd's Adventures in Antarctica, where he's out for staying there for 6 months, he's like a few 100 meters away from his camp and can't find it. But he's flagged it with bamboo wands all around. And you can actually hear the flags probably better than you're going to see them in a whiteout. How many people have been in whiteouts? Driving? Yeah.
I guess the closest I came was a blizzard of 78. That would count. I was actually driving in it. You really.
Well, how far could you see?
Well,
Yeah.
I drove right into a snowbank.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can't see. And that's another thing in the Arctic is that there's no sun you can't see either. It doesn't have to necessarily be blowing snow because everything's white. There's no sun, there's no solar definition, no shadows. So you can walk right into a snow wall, you know, because you can't see it because there's no shadow on it.
It was this whole day long.
Yes.
But they were there when there was sun, right?
He
Yeah.
said 16 out of 20 days.
16 out of 20 days we had whiteouts.
And that's what you traveled through all day,
Yeah,
every day?
so you would feel with your ski pole. You're like skiing, you're putting pillow in front of you, right?
How many times have you done this?
Okay, and then I covered falling through the ice, the importance of the throw bags and the ski poles for carrying those with you. Okay?